hello, friend. I hope you are doing amazing over there. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you are doing amazing. Sometimes I'm asked, and I've been poor, what is a great way to get better in Fortnite? And I think that's an amazing question. It's an amazing discussion to have because I remember also what that thought process was like for me, early on when I was playing and I was really trying to get better and trying to improve and trying to be as helpful as I could possibly be to the squad, to the teams that I would play on. And yeah, it was, and I'm still like that. I'm still always trying to improve and get better as well. And I do have some tips in mind that could possibly help you that have helped me over the years as well. And it's pretty much just, hey, it's stuff that has helped me out and maybe it can help you as well. Maybe it might be a little different for you, and that is totally fine. I think every person's journey is different, and I think there are a lot of things to go by off of that. So one of the things that I remember really trying to improve on was the building aspect of the game. And the way I improved in building was really trying to get as comfortable as I could with the idea of building first and shooting second. So when I was playing, even like on controller on Xbox and stuff in the beginning, I was really trying to really build up that muscle memory of like, hey, I get shot, I'm instantly going into build mode and I'm going to do my best to, protect myself in that way. And I would turn on turbo build and so on. And it was one of those things where in the beginning, I remember just throwing builds all over the place. I wasn't really conscious of what I was throwing around, but I just wanted to build. I knew that. And in a way, it helped. It helped in many ways because there was builds I was throwing around and it was protection, whether it was cones, random cones, walls, and ramps thrown everywhere, so be it. But at least I was protecting myself and getting used to the idea of building, first. And that would buy me time to go revive a teammate or to try to get out of a room or a hallway where I was getting shot from and just try to create space, right? But of course, as time went on, I became more conscious about which builds I was placing and, trying to conserve materials that way, trying to see, hey, okay, this is what a wall is. This is what a wall does. This is how I place a wall. And this is what I'm going to use the majority of the time when it comes to building boxes and also blocking off shots from a certain angle. So I really went off of a lot of that type of stuff. I used to go into like Team Rumble, for example, and knowing that if I got eliminated, I was going to come back to life right away and so on. I would go into Team Rumble trying to survive as long as I could without getting eliminated. So I would go in there and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have a defensive mindset and I'm just going to place builds all around and really focus on that and really focus on trying to survive as long as I can before I get eliminated. And it was just building up that mindset of, hey, if I'm getting shot, I'm going to keep my guard up by building, right? Something happened when I adopted that mindset. I remember early on, which is what I would want you to be careful with as well, because it happened to me and it was a realization. I was like, okay, I need to now balance things out between playing defensively and then also playing a good amount of offense. So what I mean by that, it's like I would survive matches and I would get into like end game and it'd be me and like another player. Sometimes we'd be playing squads and it'd be me and like the last remaining squad. And I had the mindset of building. By this time, I have already been able to, tunnel around, create space, ramp up, all those type of things. But at the same time, I wasn't shooting back as much. I was just trying to survive as I was being chased around and getting shot from different angles. And something clicked after getting eliminated like that many times. I was like, you know what? If I keep this up, sure, I'm going to keep surviving, but eventually I'm going to run out of materials, and that's how I'm going to get eliminated. I need to be able to shoot back and try to end these fights quicker, try to get the opponents, separated from each other and try to take them out, one by one and so on, right? So that's when, you kind of look at things and you balance things out. Okay, well, now let's figure out how to shoot and block off, shots with walls, shoot and cover and that type of thing. So it's a balance between it all. It's learning how to practice things now, like like your aim with aim trainers, and also what's cool about Fortnite is there's a lot of different maps where you can practice these things and going from there. But I would definitely say the game is especially this is like if you're playing builds, for sure. Um, it's very building based, and it's with a couple shots your health can go down drastically. It's to the point where it's like the game wants you to build. You saw that early on in the beginning, and it's why I think zero build has that extra 50 shield that you get, right? Because I think it's to kind of make up for, hey, you're gonna get shot, you don't have builds, you're gonna get shot, but we still want you to have that extra health, to kind of hang in there a lot more. But in builds, you don't have that, right? So like it's one of those things too, where with a good shotgun shot with a pump or something, your health can go down drastically, if not eliminate you completely. But I think that's a good thing to think about for sure. So yeah, the first thing I think is learning how to get into that mindset of building first, shooting second. As soon as you get shot from somewhere, learning how to box up, learning how to kind of figure out where you're getting shot from after that, and then thinking about what you can do to shoot back. And of course, there's things like pre-firing. There's things like where if you see an enemy right away, you can get a shot in and then build. That type of stuff. So none of this stuff is black and white. There's a lot of there's no hard rules to this. There's a lot of things you can play around with to your own playing style and so forth. And I think doing things like box fighting and also jumping into like those 1v1 maps where you can go against a lot of players or playing Team Rumble. I think that helps. The more comeback that you can get into, the better. So of course, after free building and after practicing mechanics on your own in like a map, a private map, a 1v1 map type of thing, I say do that as much as you can. Get used to the keybinds that you like, the controls that you like, your controller settings, everything that you have placed in that's customized to you. But trying to get into as many fights as you can, I think will help. Sure, I think doing the same thing in battle royale mode itself can help, and it will help, of course. Like trying to push fights, trying to get into different situations as much as you can. But also jumping into creative, I think, goes a long way. I think creative in itself really changed things up to where players were allowed to practice and get into so many fights, a lot of action, and also use that to reach their potential to where they're at now, because then when they jump into battle royale, they've seen certain situations that they might see in creative. That being said, it's also good to look at the different types of game modes that you're playing in creative as well. I know some maps will have like unlimited materials, no fall damage, and that type of thing, which if you're used to, jumping off of high places and building freely without worrying about running out of materials, that can affect you when you jump into battle royale mode. So I think that's one thing to really look at and think about. Another thing that really helps, a helpful tip too, that has really, really helped, it's something that's done a lot like in sports, and something that, we would do when I was playing football and stuff. We would watch film and look over the game from the night before, or, look at film from the team that we were playing at this week. And that's kind of where I'm getting at here, is going back. If you do record your gameplay, or if you record highlights or anything like that, I think that's also helpful. But after, whether you win, whether you lose, going back and seeing what it is that you could improve on, what it is that you can work on from that game. There's always something to learn. Even if you win the game, there's always still something to learn by it. Maybe you could have done this differently. Maybe you could have rotated to a different spot. Maybe you didn't have to do that type of window edit, but you could have done this instead, or this was a safer play or a more, better angle to take, that type of thing. There's so many little things, and I think it's good to be analytical of yourself in that way, but at the same time, not to the point where you're trying to play too perfect and too where you're locking yourself in too much. I think it's a balance between playing free, playing to where you're not really thinking about too many things. You're just kind of letting loose. You always want to have fun and be loose when you're playing. I think that's at least what has helped me out, so for sure. If you play with the mindset of like, I don't want to get eliminated, I don't want to lose the game, then that can really set you up to where you lose instantly within yourself. And that can also carry out to a lot of games too, as well. But I want to say also that looking back at your gameplay, I think will help a lot, especially the games that you lose or you get eliminated from. I think it's good to look back on and see why that happened. Really utilize, because I've been in so many situations. Sometimes I'll even get eliminated the same kind of way. Like something that's been happening to me a lot this season is where I've been getting like I get eliminated. I get like second place because the storm like gets me at the very end, and that's usually because there's like a mountaintop or something that I'm not able to get over. And the way these zones move, they're like they're different now to how they've been moving. So yeah, I look at that. I'm like, okay, you know what? Next time I can see where the zone's going to be even more, but analyze it even more than I do already, and see if there's a mountaintop or like a hill that I'm gonna have to get over so that I can start rotating sooner, or I can make sure that I save enough materials for that. If I have something like we recently had the Ninja Turtle mythics or like a grapple type of thing that I can use to get over, okay, that's cool. But just that type of thing. So I actually got eliminated like that a few times yesterday, got second place and everything. And then I think one of the games I ended up winning last night was a kind of a similar situation. And I was able to win that one because of those lessons I had learned previously. So that type of thing is what I mean, really looking back and at the gameplay that you have, and really analyze it in that way. What is it that you can improve on? I think that right there alone is actually going to help you tremendously. Of course, that's where you figure it out. Like, oh, okay, I need to work on box fighting. Box fighting is a huge part of the game now, to the point where even if you're playing low ground or you build up with someone, usually turns into like a box fight depending on the situation. And if you're usually doing box fights and doing a variety of things, you probably have a good understanding of like piece control and how important it can be to control a fight by taking a wall or having a comb placed in your box, or at least some type of build or builds placed around the area that you can control and edit. At that point too, we go into editing as well. There's different mechanics in the game. Editing is one of them. I think editing is something that's going to help you tremendously. If there were any edits that I would focus on, if I was starting from scratch and I was learning how to edit, I would first focus on editing walls for sure. Because say you're following a teammate that places walls and everything everywhere, and they block you off with a wall accidentally, because they're just tunneling or they're doing their thing, you can keep up with them by just quickly editing through that wall or that floor. So yeah, editing walls and then also doing window edits, I think will go a long way to start with, and of course there's all other types of edits that you can work in there as well. So doing things like edit courses can help to build up that muscle memory. That certainly helped me out, doing edit course maps. But at the same time, going into free building, learning how to build around builds that aren't yours and that are yours, learning how to build from different angles too, that might feel a little bit different, because I know when you go into an edit course, you're usually doing like a straight shoot, right? You're running right straight through it. But learning how to build around like from the sides and learning how to do different things from different angles, I think can help a long way too. So there's a lot of different things that kind of go into that. But also, yeah, learning from other players, I think is a great way. Learning from playing with friends, from playing with different people that you normally run into in games. Also, watching other people, when they're playing, whether it's streamers or people that create videos online of themselves playing all around. I think that also helps too, to look at their playing styles, look at their decision making, what their game sense. Why did they do that in that part? Why did they decide to push that fight, or why did they decide to not push that fight? And I think that goes a long way. I think decision making is a huge part of the game that goes hand in hand with game sense and awareness and so on. But those are a few different tips that I have today for you in a way where this is stuff that has helped me out, and also it could possibly help you out as well as far as like playing different games within Fortnite. But thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate you being here. You are awesome. You are amazing. Thank you very much, and have a great, wonderful day. I will see you later.